Wow, wow, wow. Everybody's excited? I'm so excited and I'm so grateful at the same time to be here sharing my story, sharing all the knowledge that I got for the last 10 years. Next month is going to be my 10th year in ACN. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'll be honest with you guys. Yesterday, who was there yesterday at the leadership training? Let's all be honest. When you heard Mr. Jeff Weber talking and then playing his video, let's be honest, who honestly cried? All right, some of you guys, liar, liar, pants on fire, you're not telling the truth. I know some of you guys say, I was not crying because I was doing this. And then when the music started, remember that part? The music started, and it's like, so everybody cried, we all know that, right? But the reason it really touched me, because I want to make sure Jeff Weber knows that when I got started in 2004, I joined ACN just to make money. And around 2005, I can't remember exactly what time, but I know they played that video, and it really touched me. Who really, that video touched them? They want to help their mom, their dad, they want to help their family, right? Everybody, doesn't matter what country you're in ACN, everybody watching that video will get touched. And I'll say something on stage that is very personal that I never talk about the last 10 years. And the reason I'm going to look this side is not because it's my good side on the camera, it's that my mom is there. And if I look there, she's going to cry, then I'm going to cry, then security is going to say, get him out the stage, and then you guys will say, who's this French guy, right? So obviously with my accent, you guys know I come from an exotic location, which is Montreal Island in Canada. Can I get my Canadian doing woo-woo? Awesome. So I remember at age 16, and I told that when I was SVP in my speech, at age 16, I came back from a basketball practice, and I don't know for you guys, but at night I always need to eat cereal. I don't know if you guys are with me on that, or toast, peanut butter, anyway. So every time, like one night I came back home, and my mom was doing what she called a budget, which most of you guys, if you're grown up, you know that if people are doing math at the end of the month, they're not doing a budget, they're trying to figure out what credit card they need to pay, how to get the money. You guys relate to that, right? I didn't know that at that time, but my mom told me, Matthew, I came back home, I said, I need to take my cereal, so I opened the fridge, and then there's no milk. You know that advertising with no milk, I went mad, and then I went to see my mom, and she's like, Matthew, it will really help out if you go and go buy just a 2-liter of milk. I know you start working, I was working at a grocery store at 16, and it marked me because I never saw my mom and dad struggling financially. And I believe a lot of you guys, maybe you don't know now, maybe you know now, maybe you're doing that right now, but a lot of people are living life with a mask on their face. They have a lot of debt, they have a lot of struggle, and they go to work, they go see their family, and all they do is this. Hi. Yes, everything's good. I have 2 BMW, but I don't know how to pay them. And I come from an average family. So my mom used to be a nurse. My dad used to be working for an insurance company. So that night, I'm going back like 16 years ago. But that night, as I was 16 years old, there was a seed that was planted in my head that says this: you got to make money. And you had that moment. Each of you had a moment that something happened in your life, and you had to say, I need to make something happen. Can we get this, guys? A year after, my mom did her second burnout as a nurse, and I remember it was a weekday. She started having a chest pain, and it was in the morning around 6:30 a.m., and I remember my sister, my dad came down, and we wanted to call the ambulance, and I remember that sentence she says in French. She says, wait until maybe it's going to be okay, because if you, I don't know for you guys in the US, but in Canada, if you call the ambulance, it's going to cost money. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I need to make money. You guys get this? 2 years after, my mom and dad went from a house to an apartment, and that's where they say, you're grown up, you can get your own apartment. And that day, there was another seed plan in my head, you got to make money. At age 22, my mom and dad divorced, and we all know the majority of cases of divorce are because of money. So when somebody introduced me to ACN, I remember it was a friend of mine that introduced me to this business. He said, you want to make more money? I said, yes. And then he said, come this place, this location, you're going to meet this guy named Simon Aboud. And I say, Simon who? He's like, Simon Aboud, he's awesome. And I'm like, is it legal? And he looked back at me and says, do you really care? And now back when I was 22, I was a little bit gangster. I'm like, I don't care. And then I went to the meeting, signed up, didn't know why I signed up, watched that video. So I just want to give it back to Jeff Weber for the first time that I realized that because of this video, it really impacted my life and my family life. So thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate what you did. Inspire a lot of people. And I hope it inspired a lot of people this weekend. So how I get recruited? Very simple. A friend of mine, like I said, approached me, got to the meeting, signed up, didn't know what to do. But what I understand is this. I'll show you a trick at the end of this training that within about 10 years, next month, I recruited over 100 IBOs. You guys want to know how to do that? Now, you need to listen until the end of the training. That's how you keep the attention of people, all right? So, recruiting. Every successful organization is recruiting all the time. Can we all agree that Nike, Apple, that the NFL, the NBA, every year they want to recruit and they want to recruit the best? Can we all agree with this? Now, when I sign up people, sometimes they're like, I don't like to recruit. Matthew, I don't like to sell. And I tell people, you don't need to sell. The only thing you need to do is very simple. You got to just basically sell yourself. Because before ACN sign up, people sign up in ACN, can we all agree they're going to sign up with you first? So people don't look at ACN, they look at you first. And people are like, Matthew, I'm not a salesperson. You need to understand, in all our life, we had a time in our life that we sold ourselves. Whoever got a job interview here in the room? You guys are ready, right? Your job interview probably went like this. Sir Max Knowles, Sir Aboud, Sir Bizzuti. What are your top 5 qualities? Only 5? Mr. Aboud, Mr. Macer, can you tell me what is your default? What you call the reverse of quality? Weakness? That word. And you went like this. Wow, you caught me off guard. Like, I need to think about, I'm really meticulous. You know me, when I do something, I do really very, like, I pay attention to every details. And, you know, I work like it's my business. If I do everything at my job, I work like, who did that before? Just do this to the person on your right, just say you did it. Everybody at some point of their life sold themselves in any ways. Everybody here in this room also recruited somebody who's been in a relationship or are in a relationship right now or are planning to be in a relationship with somebody else in the future, right? I remember myself 15 years ago, I was 17 years old. And I recruited that is my wife right now, Gabriella. I went to see her at school. I said, hey, what do you do Tuesday night? 7:30. She said, nothing. I say, I'll pick you up. I had a BMW as a student. It's called Bus Metro Walk. Anyhow, I went to the movie. I piqued her interest. The movie ends. We walk. I say, are you open to this opportunity? She said, yes. We've been 15 years together. So I think I'm good at recruiting. You're all good at recruiting. So let me ask you a question. Who is recruiting about? Is it about you? Is it about you getting your TC, RD, RVP, SVP promotion? Is it you getting financially dependent? Is it you making money? Is it you being recognized on stage? The answer to this is what? No, but we all know this, but we don't act like this when we recruit. We think about ourselves, and you know what? When you think that way, guys, you're going to understand. You're gonna feel inside of you fear. Oh, can I talk to this person? You're going to have anxiety. You're going to say, oh, I don't know what the person's going to think. The reason that stress is going to happen, the reason that's going to happen is that you don't think about them, you think about you. Who understand that? You go, you say, I need that person on my third leg. So when you approach people, it's like meat for you. Like, sign up. Because you think about yourself. When you meet somebody, think about them. It's going to make a big difference. Also, the person that you're recruiting, if you think about yourself, they're going to feel pressure. They're going to say this person is trying to sell me something, and they're going to say this person don't care about me. Some of you guys are recruiting people, and you're asking a question in your head, you're like, I'm going to say this next time. Just pretend you're listening, and then you're not there. When you're recruiting, you got to be there to listen. So one trick that I learned in the last 10 years is this. When you're recruiting, when you're on the field, number one, you got to have fun. Everywhere you go, every time you recruit, make a smile. Everybody do that? And when somebody else does the same thing to you in your head, not in your head, you guys say, it's going to cost you $4.99. If you think that way, and if you always like that, guess what, guys? You're going to be a good recruiter because you're going to listen to them. You're going to listen to the reason why. A lot of people say, Matthew, oh my God, I know you're not smart, but you know a little thing about a lot of things. The reason is this. Every time I sit down with somebody, I say, Bill, what do you do in life? Well, I'm in insurance. Talk to me more about that. Francis, what are you doing in life? I'm in construction. Talk to me more about that. So I learn a lot of things, and I listen. Why? Because this is the way you got to build your business. And by recruiting, you got to think about people, not yourself. So this is not a technique. This is to be genuine. People can smell a phony mile away. They can know that if you're not real, they're not going to follow you. So make sure that when you're recruiting, have fun, listen to people, and listen to the reason why. So recruiting is not about you, but does it start with you? Yes or yes? So if it starts with you, you got to bring your A game when you talk to people. You got to dress for success. You got to be G'd up from the feet up, if you know what I'm saying. You got to make sure. Oh, you like that one, huh? I was reading G'd Up, GQ magazine. Anyway, people, we live in a world that people will look at you, and within 5, 10, 15 seconds, they will right away judge you. The way you talk, the way you dress. So when you go out there, dress for success. Make sure your language is different. Make sure your posture and your confidence is different. People is being attracted by strength, not by people that are weak. You got to be strong when you go out there, and you got to be confident. Now, there's 4 steps by recruiting. The first step that I learned 10 years ago is to make a list. Most of us, we make a list, but we don't put all the names on that list. Make a list of 100 of people. Grab all that you can. I'm going to show you what you got to do, but make sure you have 100 of names. Number 2, you got to approach those prospects. Some of the people sign up in ACN, and they're like, I have 100 names or 70 names, but they don't call them. You got to call them. Step number 3, you got to keep adding people to your list. Sometimes people say, Matthew, do you still recruit? I still recruit. I still personally recruit. Why? Because that's the name of the game. Always be in phase 1. Always have somebody that you're going to introduce to show your team. But guess what? I need to add up people on my list. That's if you go someplace and somebody says this, say, oh, the guy that just say this at the gym, whatever you met the person. It doesn't matter. You got to add up names on your list. And number 4, you're going to do step number 3 and step numbers 2 and 3 until you're SVP. And even if you're SVP, you're still going to continue. But what you got to make sure is this. Always add up names to your contact list, which is very important. Now, how you build your contact list, how you do it is very simple. Go on Facebook. Who's on Facebook right now in the room? Okay, everybody. It should be everybody. It should be good for your business also. Go on Facebook, add up names. Like just say, hey, this guy, I know him. This guy, I know him. This girl's cute. I'm sorry. And then just add up people. Make sure you have Facebook contact list. Make sure you get your cell phone and look at your contact list. Make sure that if you've been married, who's been married or had a wedding before? All right? You had at least 50 or 100 or 200 or 300 people. Put those people on the list. Who got married second time? It happens, okay? Good, you got 2 lists of people, all right? No, it's true. Let's put positive into negative, but it's true. If you got 2 weddings, hey, twice the number of people you can put on the list. Now, who's single? I have something for you. Who's single in the room? Can you all stand up, the single people? All the single people, can you? All right, look around. Look around. Okay, sit down. There's no point for me to doing that for building a list. I just want to help you out if you want to meet somebody, all right? So, oh my God, I did that. Oh my God. All right. Past and current place of employment, place of worship, place you spend money, neighborhood, relatives, put a lot of names on the contact list, all right? There's 4 types of presentation. Who got introduced to ECN by a one-on-one? Just raise your hand if you got introduced by a one-on-one. Perfect. Who got introduced by a home presentation, which I think is the more effective? Raise your hand. Perfect. Who got exposed by a group meeting, a bomb? And who got presented by a webinar or any telephone kind of presentation? By raising your hand, all right? So it doesn't matter how you got introduced to ECN. You just got to expose people to ACN. You just got to talk to people. You just got to show them. We have an RVP part back in Montreal. We have Jonathan Diziel and Simon Turcotte that by the RVP's Platinum in Montreal, by phone, they recruited somebody in France years ago that are right now RVPs, guys. Like you never know who's going to be on the other line. You never know who's going to be on your webinar. You never know who's going to be at the home meeting. You never know who's going to be at the Starbucks. You never know who's going to be at your hotel meeting or office meeting, guys. So every time you present, you always got to think, you never know, maybe next time is going to be the best one. I love Spencer on when he says this, you're one recruit away from massive explosion. And he said that to me years ago, and that marked me because that's true. This business is all about exposure, and you never know who you're going to find. Now, what's the problem about recruiting? What is the number one problem that I see, that you see that happens? Number one is very simple. People don't make a difference between invitation and presentation. You know where I'm going with this, right? Some people are like, yes. Yes, the valley of death. What's the value of that? It's very simple. Instead of just calling people and asking a question, like Mr. Patrick Mercer said, oh, you open to make more money outside of what you do, and just edify your presenter or your upline and then show them and invite them to a meeting, they trying to do a presentation while they're inviting. You guys already noticed that, right? And the way it sounds, I'm going to just pretend that I'm a new IBO, because usually it's new IBOs. They're going to call somebody. They're going to say, hey, Derek, how are you? Listen, are you open to make more money? And the person on the other line is going to say, yeah, what is it? Great, listen, I can't talk to you. It's 90% visual. You got to come see this guy. Makes a lot of money. Well, tell me more about it. And they're like, well, okay, it's a company called ACN. And ACN, it's a company that is right now in 24 countries. We get paid in pesos and pounds. We get paid on Flash. We get paid on Direct TV. Every time somebody uses the toilet or the machine or the cell phone, we make money. And I was at this convention, and everybody was clapping, dancing, hugging. There's all the single people that stood up. And I saw a lot of beautiful girl and man. And then I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And I saw people going TRTC, and they went on stage in front of the 7 co-founders, and then they talk about their journey. And this guy wanted to be the next Michael Jordan, but what happened is this: he made more money than Michael Jordan in ACN. And then they start what I call vomit the information. They like, and then what they don't realize, the person on the other line is not on the other line. Can we agree with this? That person is way off the valley of death. Whoever had that feeling? Liar, liar on fence on fire. Everybody here. Everybody did that one time. Can we all agree with this? Now, what you need to do is very simple. Valley of death. What you need to do is very simple. Learn this, master it, and just apply it. So master what we're going to do, practice it until you feel comfortable. But when you talk to people, always repeat this. It could be in Spanish, it could be in French, it could be in German. All you got to learn in multiple languages is this: are you open to make some extra money outside of what you do? If you learn to say this in many languages, guess what, guys? You're going to make a lot of money in ACN. Because all you're going to do is pique the interest, and then you're going to invite. And I'm not going to go back to what Mr. Patrick Mercer said today, but what he said is right. You got to edify your upline. You got to make sure that you edify anybody you're working with, any presenter that you're working with. And if they have any question, I'll show you what to do. But guys, can you call somebody like this and say, hey, Jeremy, are you open to make more money outside of what you do? Yes, I know it depends what it is, but are you open to make more money? Okay, I'm working this person. His name is Max Knowles. He talks so fast that when you're going to meet him, he's got so much energy that you're going to be excited. I'm going to pick you up, and we're going to make money. Do you really think somebody's going to come to that? No, you got to be excited. You have to have energy and excitement. I used to call my friend at 12:30, 1 a.m. say, bro, I saw something. We're going to be rich. I'll call you tomorrow. Hang up. And then I receive text messages. Funny, what is it? Don't respond. 2 a.m. Listen, I'm not sleeping. Tell me what it is. Don't respond. 3 a.m. I'm coming to your house. 4:30, I'm going to kick, beep, and whoa, hey, no, it's a joke, tomorrow, okay? But as a joke. But can we all agree that if you call people and you're excited, they're going to want more? So when you call people, use that, edify your upline, your presenter. And then if they have any question, you got to say this. It deals with telecommunication, banking, energy deregulation. Listen, what do you know about energy deregulation? Or what do you know about telecommunication? Or what do you know about new technology? Or what do you know about merchant services? What will be the response of the person on the other line? Sorry? I don't know, or not much, and that's where you're going to say, that's why we have to meet, so you can see for yourself, just trust me, just come. And if they say, well, I know a lot about telecom, great, that's the reason you got to see it, just trust me, just come. And if you do that and you master that, guess what, guys? People will come because this is a proven script, it's a proven system that if you master that like a song, who knows here, no Spanish, just by raising your hand. But who knows that song? Suavemente, besame. And you don't even know what it is, but you're like, besa, it means kiss, okay? You're going to kiss somebody, but don't do that anyway. So, who doesn't know French here? Who doesn't know French? Okay. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Everyone's laughing, yeah, I know what that means. I know, but what I'm saying is this. You know what it means, why? Because you learn about it, but you practice it, you heard it, but guess what? This could be in any languages, guys. I built through many countries, and this script, this way we talk to people, it's personalized to you, but you gotta have that script, that system that you're gonna master. When you call people, you have posture. So what's important when you call people? What word is important? Posture. What's posture? Posture means that you know that what you do is better than what they do. Can we agree with this? And I tell you something, I used to call people and be more arrogant. I didn't understand the difference between posture and arrogance. Posture means what? When somebody asks you a question, you have a posture. Well, tell me more about it. No, it's 90% visual. You got to see the same way I saw it. Can I count on you to be there at 7:30? Well, tell me more about it or else I'm not going to come. Well, don't come. See you next week. Ciao. Hang up. Who's going to call back? Who's going to call back? He's going to call back. I said, what did you do that? Are you open or not? That's posture. If somebody says, is it one of those things? What do you mean one of those things? One of those pyramids. Well, do you love pyramids? No, I don't like that. Great, you're going to love what I'm going to show you. If somebody says, I love pyramids, great, you're going to love what I show you. If somebody asks too much question and say, listen, I'm going to present you to somebody that is very successful. Very successful. His name is Franco LaFranco. And this person will give you all the information you need. But listen, if you have that attitude in front of him, I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want him to think that I'm not serious because I don't bring serious people. So let me think about if I'm going to bring you or not. Well, what do you mean? Listen, let me call you back. You call back? Are you open? Yes. Posture means this. Posture means that they don't need to give you advice or they don't need to give you opinions until they see what's ACN. Can we agree with this? Posture is important. I was watching a video. They talk about one of the tribes in Africa. And this tribe is called the Nubi tribes. And what they do is very simple. They live in the jungle, but they rarely get killed by lions or any type of animals in the jungle. And the person was entering people. They say, why do you think people don't get killed? And the person was talking about posture. The person was saying, you know what? The Nubi tribes, when they walk in the jungle, they walk like they're predators. They walk like nobody's going to touch them. They have confidence. He says sometimes people get killed. Why? Because if they drink alcohol or they have whatever, and then the way they're going to walk, they're going to get attacked. And while I was watching, I said, you know, it's funny because some of the people that don't have confidence and posture, when they call people say, well, Matthew, people always ask me how much I make. At the beginning, people used to ask me that, but now you think people ask me, the last 9 years, nobody asked me that. Why? Because when I talk with posture. And you need to do the same thing. If somebody says, well, how much do you make? You won't believe me if I told you so. I know some of you guys say, well, I made like 12. I have one of my friends, Eduardo, said, I received my $11 check. I said, when people ask you how much you make, just say, you won't believe me if I told you so. And it's true. They won't believe him. Only $11. Anyways, so posture is important because people will say, my God, if he's like, and then you're going to have, recruiting is going to be on your side because people will follow you. Now, I have a cute story because my son right now is 3 years old, and that picture was about 1.5, and maybe less than that. And we were in France. We were in Lyon. We were doing a convention with ACN, and then there was a lot of pigeons. And I was trying to show him how to just fed the pigeon with some bread. You guys already did that, right? With your nephews or your kid. And I was giving some type of cookies to my son, and he was running towards the pigeons, right? What do you think that happened? And he came back to me and looked at me, and he talked barely, and I said, okay, let me show you how it works. And I took a little bit, and I did this. And then I back up, and they were coming. And I said, you see, Mathieu? He's like, oh, okay. And I did this like this, they were coming. I did this like this, they were coming. 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 And then they were coming just here. And I'm thinking to myself, recruiting is the same thing. People, they have ACN, they go call somebody, says, you want to be rich? There's a guy, and then they're trying to phone, and then people go away. And I tell people, no, don't do that. Are you open to make more money? Yes. What are you doing Tuesday night, 7:30? Nothing. What is it? It's about telecommunication. What do you know about telecommunication? Nothing. Okay, so I count on you to be there at 7:30. Okay, you're going to be excited. I'm going to introduce you to my mentor, Simon Aboud. And I was freaking. I told my wife, I said, babe, these pigeons are like prospects. She looked at me, she said, are you all right, honey? I'm like, yeah. It's just ACN is everywhere. So think about the pigeon when you approach people. Go a little bit, just a little bit. Now there's going to be 3 types of people. There's going to be red apples. Who were red apples? Somebody that were positive. Somebody called you, say, yes, I want to see what it is. Who were red apples? All right? Who were green apples or orange, like Mr. Mazers talked about this afternoon? Who were green apple? Okay. And who were rotten apple or coconuts and that were negative, right? Now, doesn't matter, guys. Red apple, you bring them, they're excited. Green apple, you answer question, posture. Rotten apple, guys, very simple. It's negative people. Don't take time. Go to the next person. Go to the next person. I believe that if you're trying to fight with a rotten apple, it's like if you're going to a farm and you want to fight with a pig. Well, the 2 of you guys in the mud will get dirty, but only one of you guys will be excited. Can we agree with this, right? So you don't want to fight with a rotten apple. You want to say, great, it's not for you, next. You're not open to make more money, next. Once you do that, guys, you'll see your process will go faster and you're going to search for red and green apples. Now, what's most important when you do recruiting, you have to teach your IBOs how to manage their emotion. Who relate to that? I call my brother and he says it's a scam, right? And I'm like Dr. Phil for an hour on the phone, right? And guys, what you need to do is very simple. You need to teach your IBOs. It's part of the process. Some people say yes, some people say maybe, some people say no, but you got to manage emotion. And number 2, which is also important, you got to go through numbers, guys. You got to go through numbers because the numbers the numbers of exposure that which you will do in your team will mark your leadership. The more people you meet, the more leaders will come in your group. And follow-up is important for the reason being that there's people that said no now, but 1 year from now, they'll say yes. Because they said no at the beginning, they say no, make money, come see me. Can we agree with this? Some people say, no, it's not the right timing in my life, but guess what? Come see me 2 years from now, 2 months from now, it's going to be the right timing. Guys, I signed up one of the top IBOs in my group and some of the top IBOs in my group that we signed up because of follow-up, because it was not the right timing. So make sure you do this when you're recruiting. Now, most people aren't good at recruiting because they're scared of rejection. Who was scared or still scared of rejections? Guys, don't be scared. Talk to people. Mr. Greg Provedano said one time that when you're going to pass away, you're going to die, you're going to be at your funeral. There was like an average, or somebody wrote that there's going to be an average of 10 people crying at your funeral. And when I heard that, I was like, the hell with people, what they think about me, right? I don't, like think about this. They go to your funeral, like think about this. 10 people will cry. Your mom, your sister, maybe not my sister. I'm just kidding, Annie, I love you. But she's there, and then she's going to punch me, and she's strong. Anyway, so I'm going to do, the rest of the people at your funeral, they're going to say, man, Mathieu was a good guy. Great hair, great individual. I'm hungry. Is there a McDonald's near here? That once that's finished, we're gonna go eat? Yeah. He was a good guy. Yeah. You guys understand that? So when people say something bad, just go to the next person. Who cares, guys? You're doing this for your family. Can we all agree? We're doing this for our family. We're building rich. Let them be right if they're negative. Let be you rich in this business. Can we agree with this? So let's go out there, guys, and forget about rejection. Forget about lack of confidence. And I told you I'm going to give you a tips and advice about how to recruit people, guys, in this business. And the number one thing that I learned in this business, which I don't have any more time to talk about it. So next string, I will give you that, all right? So everybody, enjoy your, I'm just kidding. Woo, curiosity, guys. Who was like, no, don't leave. Don't leave, tell me, all right? You have to pique the interest and make people curious. And once you do that, guys, you're going to talk to people. And once you talk to people, you're going to 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 talk to people, and eventually you'll be here doing this testimonial and inspire tens of thousands of people, guys. So enjoy your weekend. God bless everybody.